side so I can look at Justin. I want to be sure that you folks do what you can at all times to maintain bipartisanship.
Thank you for that point. It's something that I'm very passionate about since being up there. On day one, just to let you know, we formed a youth caucus, a bipartisan caucus of members under the age of 30 that are both Democrats and Republicans. And the purpose of this caucus is to do just that, having an open and honest dialogue about the challenges that we face and maybe some areas that we can actually agree on. I think a lot of times what you end up seeing on in the media is this sort of back and forth. And as a former journalist myself, it's very easy to box that in because it's a good storyline, right? It's just like sports, right? You have the two teams pitted against each other. It's easier to really put that story out. But what really goes on behind the scenes is a much friendlier environment than what is depicted in the media, potentially by the leadership on both sides. So one of the things that the caucus is going to be aiming to accomplish is, let's take education, for instance. To me, education isn't a Democratic or Republican issue. And I think if we can set aside those political philosophies, because a lot of times you might hear individuals on the far left or the far right use those as the standard bearer of truth, when in reality they're the farthest from it. We use those as our base point. That's what we should be doing. And then from there, let's build upon with facts. I know that seems to be a lost cause sometimes, but facts are important. And I think there's a lot more things we can agree on. We are talking about not just education funding, but rolling back tax breaks on the very wealthy. You'd be surprised how many Republicans actually agree with that philosophy in Augusta. And the same notion, when the governor released his budget, that was a starting point. I think everybody recognized that that's where we need to start from, and then from there we can have those dialogues, right? But initially, you're going to have individuals that are more partisan in nature take either a defensive approach to that or an offensive approach to that. But those in the middle, okay, now we have something to play with. And I think that's what we're doing with the biennial budget, is we have something to play with. Now let's have a conversation in a civil way. We don't need to be storming out of a boardroom and swearing at other legislators if we disagree. The style is a problem. But I think legislators genuinely believe that we can have a civil dialogue without that negativity.